Is Masika fake, or what is Bahati trying to accomplish? For the past few years, we have heard less about Masika, and you would even think that she no longer releases music, but her YouTube channel will prove you wrong. And a quick look at her channel, she has indeed been very consistent when it comes to releasing new music. However, her music hasn't been selling like over a decade ago. About a decade ago, Masika ndo alikuwa kusema in gospel industry, her songs hit the airwaves, and every place you will turn, then you will definitely hear one of her songs. The past few years have, however, changed, and that's why I said you would think that she retired from music or maybe she is taking a break. But no, she has actually been very active and consistent in releasing music. A quick check on her YouTube channel, you can see that about 4 months ago, she released a song titled Blessing, and the song garnered 33K views. Another song titled Uzito wa Utukufu garnered 64K views. Well, of course, these are not bad views or at all, but they are nothing compared to the views Masika garnered over a decade ago, about 8 years ago as well. When you check at her past songs, for instance, a song titled Mama, which became a national anthem when it was released 10 years ago. The song has over 22 million views as of right now. Another song titled Shule Yako has over 9 million views, among other songs. Well, when you do a contrast of these past few songs that she has released over the past few months and the songs that she released over a decade ago, you will definitely realize that there is a huge gap. So the question is, why is there such a big difference in Masika was still the same person singing then and now? What happened or what has changed when it comes to reception of Masika's music? The big difference in viewership is what got a lot of folks asking, where did Masika go? However, it is still evident from her YouTube channel that Masika yupo tena sana kwenye gospel music industry. Now, this is where Bahati Kenya comes in. A few days ago, Bahati might have shared the real reason as to what happened to Masika. When celebrities do interviews, they rarely mention names about the fellow celebrities they are talking about. However, from how they describe the incident, some key facts help netizens to know who the celebrity is referring to. So, Bahati recently hopped onto a Mic Check podcast and he had a lot to say, and he decided that he is going to put everything out there. And for starters, he decided to air everything as to why Masika's music isn't the same anymore. Now Bahati divulged that the reason behind Masika's songs losing traction is because she is not a good woman, and this is in terms of her personality. Of course, we view Masika as a God-fearing woman, and this is from what she preaches and sings, as well as her mannerisms when she appears in these public events. While they say that all that glitters is not gold, and beyond what we see on the socials, there is more we don't get to see. And only those that have interacted with her at a one-on-one personal level can tell us how vitu kwa ground ziko. Bahati seems to know a few things that we, the rest of the netizens, don't know about Masika. Now, during the Mic Check podcast, Bahati speaks about a Mr. V, and I know you guys know Mr. V, who apparently at one point alifungiwa nyumba, and despite having written hit songs for someone, the person did not pick his calls at that particular time when he much needed him. Bahati humorously during the podcast went ahead to say, Mbona hawa wamama hawatoi hit songs anymore? And he replied to his own question where he said, Mungu alienda Bwana. He says that Mr. V couldn't ask for his money, neither expose the culprit during that particular time when he had been locked out of his house, and this is because, in quote, ako kwa gospel industry. From the interview, Bahati alleged that Masika is not a kind person because a kind person does not let a person who wrote her hit songs afungiwe nyumba, and Mr. V is a renowned gospel artist, but mostly he is popular in songwriting, and he has over the years written hit songs, and some of those songs are Masika's songs, including Mwema and Nikupendeze. From what Bahati tells us is that At one point, he got locked out of the house because he couldn't afford his house rent. And the interesting thing is that the person who he had put his hard work trying to help was ignoring his phone calls when he needed him most. Well, of course, it would have been so believable if it was Mr. V sharing this scandalous news to the public, but well, that is Bahati's side of the story, and every story has two sides. We hope we get to hear what Masika has to say, or maybe we can get the story from the horse's mouth, that is Mr. V himself. Well, the reason behind Bahati's confessions was him trying to answer the question why he left the gospel industry and why he says that he did not plan to just leave the gospel industry. He said that it's only that he found out that the gospel industry is filled with malice, and that's why he decided to quit and switch to secular music. Of course, in the past, many have accused his wife Diana Bahati to be the root cause of Bahati leaving the gospel industry, with many asserting that she is a bad influence on Bahati. Diana Bahati, however, recently, and while speaking to Nairobi News, she shared that she finds it funny and laughable when people say that she is the reason Bahati switched from gospel to secular. She started off by asking if Bahati is not old enough to think for himself. And despite of all the accusations, she said that she acknowledges that her past isn't a rosy one, and by this she was referring to a period in her life when she dated several men at the same time. But she pointed out that she has got nothing to do with Bahati's decision, and she has no influence on the choices that Bahati has made over the years. And she also says that she is allowed, and just like everyone else, she's allowed to go out and enjoy herself as she deserves. Juu akiangalia mahali ametoka, she has come way too far, and the only person who can judge her about her behavior, it's only God. She doesn't understand why netizens keep on judging her every now and then. Well, there you have it, folks. Do you think Bahati's allegations that Masika's songs are not getting traction anymore because Mungu alimwambia akwende huko, and this was after she ignored phone calls from the person who wrote those beautiful and amazing songs? Share with us your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, do you think that Diana Bahati is the one who led Bahati astray, or is it that Bahati who decided to quit the gospel industry because it is filled with malice?